Welcome back to Newsmax Now. Hillary Clinton and her top aides may soon have to testify about Clinton's private email server. Yesterday, a federal judge ruled they should be questioned under oath about that server and alleged efforts to get around the open records laws. Judicial Watch, the organization that filed the open records lawsuit, is calling the ruling a major victory for the public's right to know the truth about Hillary Clinton's email system. Some of Clinton's emails reveal that she may have played a role in selecting the inspector generals at the State Department. Now, a House reporter asked White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest about this, and here's what he had to say.
What I can tell you is that the appointment of independent inspectors general is something that this administration has taken quite seriously. And I think we've seen at the State Department that they have an office of the Inspector General that's been pretty robust.
There you have it. Back in 2010, a State Department agency official wrote to Clinton aide Cheryl Mills with the name of an individual for the IG post. Mills then forwarded the email to Hillary asking, "Let me know if you don't want to proceed."
All right, let's welcome in our guest today, Tom Fitton, the head of Judicial Watch, which, as you heard, filed that FOIA lawsuit, and Newsmax TV political analyst and best-selling author of Power Grab, President Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation, Dick Morris. Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you.
It's good to be here, especially with Tom.
Yeah, we're all excited to talk to Tom. Tom, with the judge now requiring these aides to answer these questions, will this put an end to the stonewalling we've seen from the State Department?
Well, certainly a step further. He agreed that we could proceed with discovery. He's going to approve in the future a specific plan, but we let the judge know that we do want these former officials and even current officials to testify under oath. And we're not initially asking for Mrs. Clinton to testify, but who knows, her testimony might be needed at the end. But certainly we're starting off with folks who may have been in a position to know who set up the system, how it was run, how the State Department support it, and where records might be. I mean, this is what this case is about, getting the records the American people are due. Remember, Mrs. Clinton only turned over half of the emails that were on this email system. We want to know, and as we suspect, where these other emails are, and we think that we have a right to have them reviewed under the Freedom of Information Act so the American people can know that someone independent of Mrs. Clinton's lawyers and campaign aides reviewed them.
Well, Dick, a lot of us also want to know what Hillary Clinton's closest confidant, Uma Abedin, knows about all this. What kind of pressure do you think she is under right now?
Well, a great deal of pressure, particularly since she may be the subject of a subpoena and she can't take the Fifth Amendment without hurting Hillary irrevocably. But there are two larger questions that are important here. The first is, this does not have to go to an indictment, to trial, and Hillary being in jail for this to impact the election. Already it is impacting the election because Bernie Sanders' campaign is being fueled not by his ideology, but by people that dislike and distrust Hillary Clinton for her lack of honesty. And it is the pressure that Tom and Judicial Watch and others are putting on Hillary that is forcing these lies and is making her credibility the central issue of the campaign.
Yeah, even if she does emerge victorious from the primary, she will be damaged for sure. Now, Tom, Loretta Lynch was asked today if she would prosecute. If the FBI makes that case against Clinton, she was non-committal. What is your level of confidence in the Attorney General following through with the prosecution if the warrant, or if the evidence warrants it?
I don't see how they avoid following through on any recommendation to indict Mrs. Clinton or proceed with the prosecution. What I thought was more important, arguably, from the Attorney General today was her confirmation that Justice Department prosecutors are working with the FBI. So this isn't an FBI investigation. This is a joint investigation between the Obama administration's Justice Department and the FBI into Mrs. Clinton's email system.
Yeah, Dick, I wanted to get your reaction to that, too. Loretta Lynch, in her usual way, was very careful with choosing her words when she was asked about that question. Number one, do you have confidence in her to prosecute? And number two, do you think it's also a big deal, as Tom mentioned, that she kind of alluded to the fact that the Justice Department was working closer with the FBI than many people originally thought?
No, I have no confidence in her ability to prosecute because it's a political decision. Hillary is increasingly likely to be the Democratic nominee, and they are not going to indict the sitting Democratic nominee. Attorney General will stop that. But then the FBI report, which contains a lot of the material Tom's been talking about, will be released to the public. And the public will see that she ought to have been indicted. And it's going to create a firestorm akin to the Saturday night massacre in Watergate, which alerted everybody to the fact that Nixon was not willing to release these tapes, and that led to his ouster from office.
The drip, drip, drip continues. Now, Tom, as we look at this particular situation, going back to what Dick was talking about with these subpoenas, would the information that is going to be revealed in this testimony coming from the State Department aides, will that be available to the public?
I would presume eventually it would be available to the public. Some may try to keep it under seal, but typically this sort of material is made available, certainly to the court. We got to tell the court what we found. And the testimony there is going to be public, I think. But we'll see. Not everything sometimes in discovery is public, and sometimes material is withheld for public view. But we're a transparency group, so you can imagine what our bias is going to be.
Well, I know you'll work hard to make sure that it is revealed to the public. And the reason why I asked that question is because we've seen these closed-door meetings with the Benghazi Select Committee in Congress.
Right.
Dick, you mentioned the prospect of Huma Abedin having to take the Fifth Amendment. You say that's completely off the table. If she is forced to answer questions under oath, there's no way she can do that without really damaging Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, destroying herself and damaging Hillary severely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what proceeds from here. A lot of pressure on Hillary Clinton.
By the way, an insight on your story you opened with about the Inspector General. Remember, Hillary left that post unfilled for the bulk of her term as Secretary of State.
Yeah, a lot of people might not remember that. That email is worth a second look, and thanks to Tom, that email is now out in the public for everyone to see, as well as a lot of those other ones, but there are still a number that we need to get our eyes on. Tom Fitton, thanks so much for being with us. Also, Dick Morris, a pleasure to see you as always. And of course, you can always check out Dick's book, Power Grab, Obama's plans for, or dangerous plans for a one-party nation. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got much more to come here on Newsmax now, including this list. You want to check this out, Newsmax.com today. Newsmax releasing its list of the top 50 most influential Republican Latinos. Ted Cruz is on there. Marco Rubio is on there. So are a bunch of other people. You want to check that out, especially as we look ahead to this next debate coming up, which will focus on Latino issues. Donald Trump now claimed victory in 3 of the last 4 primary states. The last 3 to be specific. The Iowa caucuses was something different. A victory for Ted Cruz. Is it too late to stop him, though? And is anyone talking about a Cruz and Rubio ticket? Could it make any difference? Is that the Republican Party's only hope to stop Trump? We'll discuss that when we come back after this.